Okay, let's get started. Hello, Creative Fam. I'm Caroline Cole. We're back for another episode, a weekly video of the business of storytelling. And today we're not wasting any time, jumping right in. Okay, first question. What is character work? Oh, honey, I'm so glad you asked. Character work is the best. It's one of my favorite things that we get to do as voiceover actors. It's when you get to act your little actor heart out behind the mic and create that true character magic. Sure, commercial work can pay the bills and it's great and I never complain when it comes my way. But character work, that's where my true heart lies. Because, for instance, the real reason is because the whole reason I got into voiceover was so I could be silly voices and play cartoon characters and get to be animated characters. So there's that. Keeping characters consistent behind the mic can be really difficult, and creating unique voices for each character you encounter can start to be a challenge after you're doing lots and lots of characters. But with these 3 tips, I guarantee you'll be able to create exactly what you want. So my first tip is 1, pick a tone. This is what I do every time I'm creating a new character voice. I pick a tone. So is this character gonna speak with a high-pitched tone or a medium-pitched tone or a low-pitched tone? So is it gonna be like, hey, 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 right? Those are my, general. And then you can vary within those. Sometimes my notes will say medium-high, for example. Anyway, picking a character generally within your range that you can do regularly and easily is probably more desirable, because if you start to do like a really high voice that's really difficult for you, I can do this for a little bit, but if I am gonna get like tons and tons of pages for this character, like my voice is gonna get tired eventually. So depending on how much dialogue you have, you can stretch your voice that much. So if it's only a couple of lines, or it's only going to be an hour in the booth doing this character, then probably I could maintain this. But if I know it's the main character in a 10-hour audiobook, I'm going to want to do that for 3 to 4 hours a day, and that's going to really be hard on my voice. So take that into consideration, how much you're going to be doing this character. So 2, the second thing I always do when I'm creating a new character in an audiobook or a game or animation, whatever, is I find some sort of physicality. Get physical. Now, you don't have a lot of room, but even in the booth, there's room to make a little bit of physicality. So use what you have. If you have a big booth, awesome. Use all your hands and stuff. But if you have a tiny space like I do right now, then a simple cocked hip, arm on the hip, hands on the hips, or even just hunch over, jut your chin out, stick your nose out, nose down at people, right? Even just for sometimes when I have, I can't remember the exact project, but I had this pair of sisters, and they didn't appear too much, but one of them turned this way and one of them turned this way. And so I just knew oh, this is the snootier one and this is the humbler one, right? And it just tiny bit kept me remembering how to voice their voice. And so yes, always use your body to the extent that you can. 3, when using your body, it's really important not to forget your face, right? So we have physically I can do gestures or posture that will help me get into character. But with your face, you can also use tricks to change your voice. So that would be with your lips and your tongue, moving those around and changing your mouth shape or changing your tongue placement can create a completely different sound for a character. So if I put my tongue through my teeth, then I'm gonna talk a little bit differently like this. And then if I put my tongue at the back of my mouth, it will make a wholly different sound. If I keep my lips together when I speak and I don't open them very much and kind of keep them pursed, all of those things will change how the sound comes out of your mouth. So pick a tone, low, medium, high. consider how much you're gonna have to voice this character so that you don't pick a tone that's too far out of your natural range. 2, get physical, find some sort of physical cue that will drop you into that character when needed, especially when we're in audiobooks. We're jumping between characters all the time. It's not like you record all the lines at once, right? You're having to go back and forth between characters all the time. And 3, don't forget your face. There are cues and ways to move your lips and tongue especially that will help you find variations in your voice. So, also a really important thing before we wrap up, really important thing to remember to do is take notes. Whenever I'm voicing a new character, I always jot down a couple of things. For example, I might put medium high, lips pursed, right hip cocked, right? And so when I get to that, I'd be like, okay, cocked. Hello again, how's it going? And I might find that voice. Hello again, how's it going? Right? So I don't know why she became British. Don't worry about it. Anyway, but yeah, you'll need those cues if you have retakes that you need to do, or if your character gets additional lines, or for some reason you have to go back and redo anything, or there's a sequel to the book, right? You need to have those notes to help you remember. And so finally, this kind of ties into having those notes, but you also want to have some sort of trigger. And no, this is not the trigger warning type of trigger that catapults you into past trauma, so don't worry about that. But this is, thank goodness, a much happier trigger that will trigger your memory into bringing up that character voice. So kind of like I said with those notes, getting into that physical character will help you. Also, some sort of like word or phrase might help bring you into character. For example, whenever I need to find a New York accent, I just find the phrase, hey, I'm walking here. And then like all of a sudden I can just talk like I'm from New York, right? So it's easier to put on if you have some sort of, hey, I'm walking here phrase, right? So just a little phrase, you might write that down next to your notes if you have one of those that helps you get back in. So those are some really quick, really easy tips to making sure you keep your characters fresh and new and different each time that you need to produce one. Of course, those trigger things at the end, they might not work for everyone. So a couple other tips that I would recommend if that doesn't really work for you is keeping a clip of the character's voice at the ready so you can just listen to it really quickly and bring yourself back into character, or repeating old lines. So if they have like kind of a catchphrase or something they say a lot, you might translate that into a sort of vocal trigger for yourself. So anyways, thanks for joining today, guys. I'm Caroline Cole. Follow me on Instagram at Caroline Cole Stories, on Twitter at C Cole Stories, and don't forget to rate, like, subscribe, all of that stuff. Thanks for stopping by. See you next week.